some music too.
Oh, we're having some music on our show?
No, we need to.
Hmm. I think I could maybe hit a little. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh, I just did a little drum roll. Could you hear it? Oh, live. Oh, wait, this is going live? Uh-oh. Oh, no.
There you go.
Hello! We're live! I've never done that before. I don't. Wait, hold on. I've got another one for you.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's perfect for your comedy. Wow, that's really.
Oh my gosh, that just made my day. It's very loud. It's so loud. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. All
Well,
right,
that's great. We
after
got
you do
those.
your good trade, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna work on some. This is our inaugural. Wow,
Oh,
really goes
it
on
was a
for a
long
while.
tube long.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Do we have any viewers yet? Let's see.
6, 7, 5.
Oh, five. Oh.
Well, one up.
Heyo.
We're dipping now. That
Is
wasn't
it because
quite.
I did too many sounds?
I don't know, but we definitely need to work on getting some real funny sounds. I think.
Oh, did you tell everyone in the tank to come watch us?
No, let me post the live. I was too busy getting listening to your voice. Let's see.
Oh, hi, Helen. Helen says hi. No, she said ta-da. She didn't say hi. All right, guys. So this is our new show with TrendSpider. Um, Before we get started, I am going to pump up our TrendSpider affiliate link. Why am I going to do that, you ask? Because if you support the podcast by using our affiliates, then we can bring you more amazing content. You know what I mean? Shark?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And besides that, it's a great platform.
It is a great
So.
platform. I really like the scanners. All right. And the charting, obviously. All right. There's our link. So, check it out if you like what we do here. And then where's our code is PLP25. I like that.
Oh,
I love an acronym.
PLP.
PLP25. All right. So we got all that information up. So do you want to start with just the overall market today?
Yeah,
Give me
we
your
can.
sentiments.
Yeah, we can do I have to get this.
I just fell asleep. We've got a live audience here.
I'm just drawing. A little. Getting this a little
You drawing a
updated.
little
Little line
trendy,
here.
a
So
little
yeah, let me
TL,
share my screen here.
a trend line on TrendSpider.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Share.
I don't have the top comedy podcast for nothing. You know what I mean?
I'm just trying to make it big enough on
You're
the screen.
literally not helping.
How do I share? There we go. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, we've been in this consolidation pattern that I've been watching. Trading in this range, coming back and forth. It's been tough for a lot of traders. When we're in this kind of type of pattern. But right now, personally, I still have at least a short-term bullish bias. Today, we did. You're not going to see it as clearly on here, but we broke out of this triangle a little bit. I haven't seen what futures are closed right now, I believe. But we'll have to see if we can sustain that. And hopefully we can see some fall through. We do have CPI data coming out on Friday and FOMC next week. So those are obviously two really big events that are going to affect price action. So personally, I'm still kind of trading lighter while we're in this consolidation phase. But yeah, so I think the inflation numbers, they've been hot for so long. I'm kind of seeing a little bit of a deceleration in how quickly it's going up. Like each time it's going up, it's going less and less. So that
Mm-hmm.
could hopefully indicate that the numbers are slowing down or at least cooling off a little bit. But we'll
Can
see.
you go, could you go to the 15-minute chart on SPY today, please? So I had puts. Oh, look at these candles you have. These are interesting. Did
Let me
you
go
know
back to
that
some other ones.
did you know that on TrendSpider they do the raindrop candles?
Oh yeah, no, I love. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like
What are they? Hibachi candles? What are Ashinaki?
those. Yeah,
Asha
the
Hashinaki?
now you're gonna make me mispronounce it, but yeah, I'm not even sure if it's right, if the way I say it is right either. But the Heiken
Uh
Ash.
oh. Uh oh.
Let's see.
I just heard that your mic is low. Let me see if I can fix it. No, I can't fix it.
Let me see here. Let me move this a little bit.
I can hear you fine. Say
Gotta pump
something.
up. Gotta pump up the speakers.
I
Well,
can't
let me
I
see.
can't make you any higher.
Yeah, it is already. It's at its highest.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about the 15 here?
All right, you're on the wrong
Oh yeah, I
screen.
see what's going on.
Okay. Um so
Hello.
hello. Um that like 415 right there, the like it's actually 41460 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Right there at opening where it like hit that and came back down.
Yeah.
So I got my puts at that level, which I thought was a good
Oh,
idea.
are we jumping into trades
I'm just telling you
already
what
here?
I did. I'm telling you what I did. Um, and I thought it was gonna like really reject there, but it didn't. It's what led to my red day. I tried to trade SPY. I'm not ready to trade SPY. I need the trading wheels back.
Well,
You know.
spy, can be tricky. I mean, well, you used to do, QQQ quite a bit,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I can't, have bad luck with QQQ, or at least I have trouble with it, but I can trade spy. So it's interesting, how different traders, can lean towards one market or the other. Um, but it's also, the same thing like when you were trading Apple all the time, you really got to know how Apple moves, and you can kind of work your strategies and know our personality and be able to base trades on that experience.
Totally. Yeah, I can't. I really can't hear you very well. It's better when you're closer. Maybe your
So,
input's like at the computer.
all right, let's, no, it says, all right.
All right. So, do you want to show me your best trade today, or you want to just talk about the market in general?
No, no, yeah. Let's start to go over some of the trades. One of them that I took yesterday. So this was it wasn't a huge play. I think got about 70%. It was pretty decent trade, but yesterday the market was selling off,
Mm-hmm.
and I had noticed this falling wedge pattern.
Mm-hmm.
I had this level mapped out from earlier, from yesterday's opening price. Um, so this was just a level I was watching, and I saw it come down into here. I didn't buy right into this level, Actually, what I did was I waited for it to come back. It broke over, and when I saw it make a higher low, which was in this 410 area, I got calls. We wrote it up to somewhere in this 412, 413 area. I was really hoping we were going to get, because I remember at the time VWAP was 414, and we were so close to getting over, but unfortunately it sold off, and I had to get out the rest of my runners. But yesterday was definitely a little bit tricky with the price action. Obviously, as you can see, it had a little move with this falling wedge. I know some people caught some puts, on this way down. um, and actually it kind of leads into something that relates to my trade from today. Let's go to the 5 minute
Let me
here.
ask a question before we go into your trade today.
Sure. Actually, let me just take off these
Why
other channels because it might be easier for people to see. Go ahead.
why did SPY gap up overnight?
How much did it gap up overnight?
Or
It
gap
did. I don't gap down. No, it was down.
down, gap down,
Yeah.
gap down. Yeah,
I
why what does that mean?
well, it just me. It could have been data. I have to take a look and see what if there was a certain data that came out that the market
Oh,
didn't.
monkeypox came out.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe, I'm not 100% sure
So,
if there was data that came out, but either way, it was very interesting. This morning, I was looking at the market and pre-market, and I had kind of a bearish bias, because the market was down, everything was down, so it was quite the recovery today. But that's kind of where having, a game plan, having your levels ahead of time, um, is important. I kind of
mhm,
was watching that 407 area and below, and I think I had made a post on Twitter about this range that we had been trading in, and we didn't break it. So I still, even though everything was down, I had to, okay, I know my levels. I can't go in this bias. I waited for an opportunity. I waited for the trend to kind of present itself, um,
mhm.
and then I attack. But to answer your question, unfortunately, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, and then so when people say that it needs to go back and fill in that gap, like what does that really mean?
Well, I think statistically, I think the odds are that 65% of all gaps. I can't remember exactly what the number is, but gaps usually tend to be filled at one point or another. And it's usually, price coming back because really, when we're talking about like markets, they're going from areas of value to value,
Mhm.
where buyers think it's acceptable the price is low enough for them to want to buy it, and when it gets too high, that sellers want to short the market, and buyers you know um, taking profits. So they'll bounce in between these areas, and I think maybe some part of the gap could be some of those areas. Also, I kind of think of them like, I mean, kind of like a black hole. Like you have this vacuum, this
Uh-huh.
space that price action just wants to fill. Um, so, but I wanted to
When
look
I
at the
interviewed
trades.
Broda on the podcast, he was telling me, now I'm gonna really botch this, but he trades Wyckoff distribution.
Yeah,
Have you ever heard of that?
yeah, of course, yeah.
And so the way he kind of explained it to me was that like this price is a foundation of a house, and when there's gaps in the foundation of the house, the foundation isn't sturdy. So sort of like over time the market has to go back and refill in all of those gaps so the whole foundation is super sturdy so that it can then like build upon itself. I'm sure I messed that up, but
Sure.
I
No, I
have
understand
found
the
that.
analogy. Yeah, I understand the analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that definitely um, can be true. And since he, I believe, is a big future guy, um, like he would under he like the whole thing of like areas of value and things like that is like stuff that people that trade futures like talk about quite a bit. So it's that same thing, though, those foundational bricks that need to be filled back in, retested, and see if they're actual, if there's actual inventory there or if it's not, and then, um,
Interesting.
yeah. So, but I wanted to kind of quickly go over a losing trade that I took, and then it would segue into a winning trade that I took today for my last ones. I had some, and I think you too also had some Apple calls yesterday. The market was looking really bullish. It was up in that flag. And, it kind of was double topping. It couldn't break up above, and then it just totally crapped out and failed. I was in Apple calls. Yes, we're looking at SPY right now, but Apple is such a high beta name. Wherever SPY goes, Apple follows, and vice versa. So, but I was in this flag, this setup, and it broke down. Um, once this 415 area broke, that was all I could really take on the trade because we were up in this 416 area. Once the 415 broke,
Mm-hmm.
it was game over. But needless to
And that was
say,
my same trade,
yeah,
right?
you
I
were an
took it
I believe.
earlier.
Right, right. Yeah, you had told me that.
I took it earlier, but then I stopped out, I think on that kind of red
I
candle
think
right
you
there.
stopped out. Well, yeah, when we spoke about it, you had mentioned you'd stopped out a little bit sooner than
I
that.
stopped out like right when you were getting in,
Right.
which kind of makes sense since I took it so much earlier. I love to jump in something real quick.
but my but I was actually talking to someone today on Twitter about why I went long, because we had the same setup today, where we had a flag. Um, it was kind of double topping a little bit at some resistance. um, Let me find the right time frame here that I can really show it. Why am I on a default? I'm sorry. It's not showing me the chart that. We had a flag. It was doing the same thing in this area around 10, and I'm just not sure why it's not showing the 5 minute candles, but I'll look at it later. But we had the same situation, the same bull flag today. It didn't seem like it was going to break out, and we had those same upper wicks going on the chart. And when you see the upper wicks, usually, for me, that's saying that there's some selling pressure, coming in on those candles that, buyers might not be convinced. But the bull flag was still there, and I still took it. And even though it was the same setup that failed yesterday, I still took the
Are
trade.
you not on the wrong, are you not on the right chart because you're talking about Apple, but you're on the SPY chart?
No, I
Okay.
kind of was
Okay.
using, today's
Okay.
trade was on SPY, but I was using
Okay.
Apple as as a, like a proxy because like I said, with the beta, if Apple's flagging, then usually SPY is flagging and vice versa. But but I was talking to someone on Twitter and they said, why did, because I saw some puts come in, a big put order come in, and of course, you don't know someone's intentions, what they're doing with those puts, but we saw a big put order come in, and the market was kind of, some of the stocks were red. It was kind of unclear what the overall sentiment was. But I took the setup anyway, because the flag was there. And even though it didn't work for me yesterday, I know that from the probabilistic standpoint that I do have an edge in the trade. So, even though it didn't work out for me yesterday, I still was okay taking the flag setup, and we had a great push. Obviously, um, I got to see what's going on with my settings here as far as why it's not showing the candles, but I'll get to that later. But as you can see, we had a really nice push up in the trade, and I think we took. Let's see what it was. 415 calls around.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you the time at 10 o'clock. So somewhere in this area. And if you look at it too from the structure here too, you've got this previous area right at that 410 level, and these highs here that it couldn't
Mm-hmm.
break over. And obviously, once it got through this zone, it just it took off. But the main thing that I want to impress about the Apple trade, which was a loser, which was the same setup basically, and this one was the fact that I was scared, or I was a little, you know, you think to yourself, oh, the last flag didn't work. Is this one gonna work? I don't know. And then you get all this analysis paralysis. But the biggest thing is, to have your levels, set your risk, and you still take the trade. So,
Cool.
but yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's.
So do you have any more trades for us?
Well, no, really. I wanted to just kind of show that the reversal trade I took on SPY, like I was mentioning, that descending wedge, and then once I saw a break above and a higher low, we have to go back. Um, we were able to capture this move up, and unfortunately, we didn't get view up. And then, I kind of just vaguely went over how this SPY flag broke down on me, but in context that today, the same setup worked out for me in the positive. And then we had a
Cool.
really nice squeeze, towards the end of the day as
Oh, I
well.
was
So,
watching it.
yeah.
It's like it can't go higher. It did.
Yeah, it was a weird day, and like I said, and I just want to obviously again just a press and button to everybody that when we're in these consolidation zones, it's just you take profits quicker. You're gonna see less trend days until we break out of the bigger picture
Mm-hmm.
and hold. We're not gonna see a trend day that we all really love, and we're just kind of sitting in it right now here, just going back and forth, in this range.
So
So.
what's the strategy? Do you ever just play the range?
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can. I mean, I'll look for, more, you know, yeah, like quicker skin, like not scalps per se, but I'm not trying to shoot for, you know, huge 100% winners, where you can just hold all day because it's just not that type of market. Yeah, so, and that's kind of, what I was watching, and like I said, I posted earlier. I'm watching that low 407, and then basically the high of the range was, I think 417.50 area. So yeah, I mean, if you want to just sit there and wait, when it comes down to 407, for right now, obviously, as we're in this market structure, but that's a great place to maybe even get calls 2 weeks out, try to ride it back up, and then you sell there. I mean, trading when you're in this range is just going level to level, not going too big. Um, and also kind of formulating a plan. You know, like I said, right now I have an overall short-term bullish bias, so I'll be looking to more so looking to play on dip buys and things going to the upside until I see a breakdown of this market structure that we have right now. If this consolidation breaks down to the low, to the, starts breaking the lows, okay, then I'm going to start thinking, let's get back to shorting the pops and stuff like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, it's been kind of frustrating,
Oh yeah, definitely,
you know.
definitely frustrating. We both love a good trend day,
Love a
and
trend day.
so but that's where the money is made. So when you're not in that, you just have to recognize it, and then adjust your sizing and how you trade accordingly. And I think that that's the biggest thing that that traders tend to forget. You have
Yeah.
the markets do two things: they consolidate and they trend, and you have to trade different. You're going to have cycles. It could be even three. God knows. I mean, I hope not. But we could trend in this range for 3 months. Like it has no defined time period that it has to stay in it.
Yeah.
Um,
Ugh.
yeah, I
That
know it
sounds
sounds
terrible.
horrible.
Terrible.
But hopefully we get a break one way or the other. And once we get that break, then she can get some legs, again. But until then, that's why, you got to just adjust. You're going to have days like that too, It's just a nice trend day where everything's super green. And you could just buy every dip on calls. And, those nice trend days where you're down. But you'll see less and less of them, obviously, in a range like this. I mean, we're still lucky to have a range that's 407 to 418 though, because 3 years ago, SPY didn't move like this. It moved like $3 or $4 in a day. So there's still a lot of opportunities.
For sure. So, um, do you want to go to the AMD chart from yesterday so I can show you my beautiful bear flag play?
Now, what I want to do really here, if I can, because I would just like to.
Why does it say 4 hour and then says 1 hour?
This is the 4 hour. This is the 4 hour. You
Right,
want me to
but
go
why
to
does
the
it say
15?
one hour next to it? 45 minutes, and then why does it say one
Because
hour there?
that's one that I have saved, like as a favorite.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
how
can prep
fascinating.
these. Yeah, you can if you highlight those.
I think TrendSpider is really pretty.
Yeah, and you can do a lot of customization too, as far as all the different colors in the background and putting your logo on there if you have one, or a picture. So
Just a picture, just your face, just
anything you want,
anything
as long as it
you
fits in the
want.
as long as it fits in the. Okay, so we'll just go with a naked chart here. What this was yesterday.
Yesterday,
See, I was trying to get the candles
like I like them.
like you wanted it. Okay,
Yeah.
yesterday, June 6th. Okay, so you want me to go
So
on a
it was
15-minute,
right.
10-minute, or
15's great. 15's
okay?
great. So it was at
See, and this is the
11.
flag
It was at 11:04.
that killed me
Yeah. Yeah, I
personally.
know, because you were in calls, and then I saw that. And like when AMD really does a bear flag, it like really, really does. Um, I used to hate AMD, but now I'm like, if it dumps, it just does, and it's great. And then that was my first 100% play was AMD put, so now I have like an affinity for it.
That's right. That's right. Okay,
Yeah,
so 11
yeah.
o'clock. So
It
walk us through
11
the chart.
o'clock.
Let's go in a little bit deep. Let's just go into the
Let's
five
do
minutes
let's
so we
do a
can
5. Yeah.
see that trade a little bit better, because I know we'll be able to see it better here. Okay.
So I bought it on that white candle. What are
Yeah.
those called? With the
This
little
is
thing and
well. That's I mean This white one. I mean,
Yeah,
it's kind of a
yeah.
doji-ish,
There we go.
somewhat
That's what I'm
color.
looking for. Right. So I bought it at the top of that white candle and
Okay.
then just kept it all the way. I mean, I think I made like 35% on that trade. So that was pretty good for me.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
it came up here to retest, I guess, some of this area from the previous day.
Mm-hmm.
And wait, no, where are we at? Oh, it moved it. I'm sorry. It moved. It moved the chart when it's time. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I moved the chart.
So we were looking at the wrong one.
Yeah, it was another bear flag that it did. This
A
is the right one.
beautiful bear flag.
When I changed the to the 5 minute, it moved the day, but
Oh, okay.
but it pretty much did it at the same time. I
Yeah.
mean, it came up here. You had this nice impulse move down. You saw here
Uh-huh.
that it had the bear flag. It came up. You took
Uh-huh.
the puts, and then now
And then I got my
did you
35%.
you took it all off in this move, or did we get any here, or how did that go?
No.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
that's
Yeah.
obviously tough. But next time we can see, this nice downtrend. It just made another higher low. Those wicks
So,
obviously might.
um, so how do you determine, like, let's say that you had taken the same entry. I know that you scale out and then you like will keep some runners or whatever, but do you have a set price target in mind when you take it, or are you just like, I'll just hold it
No, I mean
till I
I have.
want?
No, I definitely have levels, charted out so that way I can kind of see areas or, whether they be supply or demand or support and resistance. So I do have general, targets that I'll be looking for, but
Mm-hmm.
as long as if the market is trending down, if the wind is at my back, so to speak, then I'll see what I can do as far as holding it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would have probably done the same thing, gotten out most, on this move here, but then I would have
It
been
gets
watching.
kind of bouncy in there. It gets like chopped and it's like, and you don't know. You don't
Right,
know.
right, right,
Right.
right. Yeah,
Right.
you don't know. Um, and it depends on also everyone has different goals, different risk tolerance, and different risk profile that they're comfortable with. You could see about this trend line and try to see, and obviously trend lines so, sometimes are easier to draw after the fact. But you could also say to yourself, well, you know that this area here from yesterday was a big level. You could say that.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops, no, I didn't get my. I'd like to make that bigger. We could know that this whole area, and I'm just going to go through this, but normally I put this up to this wick. But we could also say, all right, it's coming down. We're in downtrending. We're in the downtrending market. SPY's looking weak. QQQ's looking weak. SMH is looking weak. Everything's looking good. Now I'm watching this general area of this kind of this supply to see if it comes back into it. If you want, and again, it depends on your risk profile, but if you're comfortable, if you made a good amount on there and you just kind of want to see the winds at your back, I would be looking then to see if it can break over out of this area. Well, then for sure, because also
Uh-huh.
you would be out of the trend line. But,
Yep.
you know, um, and in this case, it would have worked out. But that's just something I would be looking at. Now, again, not every trade's going to work like that. That's kind of like a home run trade pretty much because 35% is still a great trade by any standard. So it just depends, on again, like, what you feel comfortable with
Is is
as a
AMD
trader.
part of SPY?
Well, it's part of SMH, like that's the semiconductor. But I mean,
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure exactly of the complete
Is
rating
it,
in
but
each,
it's
but it's more
tied with
QQQ.
NVIDIA,
Yeah, it's
right?
more. more QQQ, I would have to say, because it is a
How's
tech
it
company.
related to NVIDIA?
Well, they're both semis.
Semiconductors, is that like
Yeah,
batteries?
they're graphics chips. GPUs for
Oh, okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
AMD, Nvidia, Micron,
What's
Qcom.
Roblox?
That's some game that kids play, as far as
That's
I
what I
know.
was thinking. Yeah, I thought that that's what it was because my kids are playing it, and I'm like, it can't be the same thing. Maybe it's the same thing.
No, I was to be honest with you, I was kind of confused by that myself. I'm like, is this stock really just this game? I mean, I thought it was something more than that, but maybe it is. I don't know. It's kind of like that UPST. It's like everyone knows the stock. Well, I guess if you're a trader, you know the stock, but no one knows what it does. You know?
Yeah. Interesting that we came like later. When is that? We came right back up to that level, right? That you
Yeah.
drew out. Like if you extended that to the right, it came right back up and
Oh yeah, yeah.
rejected there again.
Right,
Now,
yeah.
what does retrace mean?
Well, this would be a good example of it. It's
Okay,
coming
great.
back to retrace this
Does
previous
it
because once
mean
it broke this,
retest? Does it mean like go back and retest?
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah, I could say so.
Retrace, does that mean like the journey back to retesting the level?
Yeah, I would say that's fair.
Okay, okay, cool. I learned something new.
But yeah, like, and this is a perfect example of it. Is exactly what you said. Once you have kind of this established zone, the
Mm-hmm.
supply zone, you keep it on your chart, and it will be
Mm-hmm.
there. And then, like I said today, even earlier, it came back right there, like you said, and you can place your trades off of it from there.
So I traded AMD puts again today, and my thought is that AMD was like weak, especially given the strength, I guess, of SPY today, and Apple was ripping
No,
today.
yeah, the semis were not very strong today.
Yes, I still lost on my puts because I think that the market like pulled it, or the market basically just kept it from falling, I think,
Yeah,
in my
yeah,
opinion. But it also was maybe an inside day. It just like it didn't have a ton of range and it couldn't kind of like
yeah.
break and hold below yesterday's lows.
It just kind of did this sideways thing
Like
without much action.
it wasn't a bad trade. It wasn't like super red, but I almost swung the puts overnight because I feel like if SPY pulls back tomorrow, then this was weak and it like will then fall because it'll lose its strength. But I'm not really a swinger. So after a bad day, I was like, let me just
Yeah,
get out of
yeah.
here.
Well, and that's probably for the best. And the other thing, that I tell you, or that I tell traders, is that a lot of times, and I've been guilty of it too, personally. So, but it's never usually a good idea if you're planning a trade and it's a day trade. It should be a day trade. You don't want to take a day trade and then it turn into a swing. More than often than not, you're bag holding when that's the case,
Sure,
or
sure.
something like that. So, you know, um, that's why it's so important. Have your plan, have your exit plan. If it breaks this, then I'm out. If it breaks over that, I'm taking profits. That's obviously the most important thing. And if it doesn't do what it was supposed to do, in the time that for that day, then, you know, especially if you're on a
Is
weekly,
it
you're going to have to think about it. But if you have a monthly, and you look at, you got more time, it can be another kind of situation. But
so? Let's say that I'm in uh, SPY calls and I'm like, I want to get out of this if SPY breaks below 410.50. I made this up. I'm not like this is
yeah,
not a real thing. Where do you where do you determine that it's broken the 410.50? Like I find that kind of hairy
yeah,
because it can go to 410.39 and then pop right back over.
Sure.
But I'm
Well,
always willing to kind of be like, well, maybe it's gonna hold it, and then it's like the Wicked Witch of the West melting. I'm like, it
yeah,
didn't, it didn't, it didn't. But if you
yeah.
put the hard stop, then you can just get stopped out for no reason.
No, yeah, no, I know. Well, it depends also on the type of trade and the plan that you have. If you're trying to do a swing trade
That's
where you
such
have,
BS.
well,
No,
I'm gonna tell
no,
you,
this is
I'm,
an answer it.
I'm
A
gonna.
day trade. I day trade.
Okay, so you're saying in your case
In my
for a
case,
day trade.
yeah. As all traders do, my strategy.
You can go with different, and again, it kind of goes into what you're comfortable with as far as your risk profile is concerned. You can go with a 5 minute close under that level. Now, that's going to protect you the most. However, you're also going to be susceptible to getting wicked out, like you said. Um, 10 minute could be a happy medium because then you have a medium chance of getting wicked out, and if it closes under a big trend line or a moving average or whatever you're using to, um, you know, set your risk profile, then you get out. The 15 would probably be, you know, you're gonna be
That's what
have
you
the most.
use.
Yeah, you're gonna have the most odds of staying in the trade. But I mean, I've been there many a times where that 15 is getting real low, and
Yeah.
and you're holding, and you're like, I need to wait for the candle to close. But um, so what I'm also doing, and what you all, and it takes time also to kind of figure out of the different things that you want to be looking at the same time um, to formulate your ultimate decision. But you could look at what the market breadth is doing, and that's just how many stocks are moving up versus how many of them are moving down. You know, is if you're in, just say, Apple or AMD or something else, what is SPY doing? Is it coming into a strong level where it should bounce as well? Um, what's the tape doing? Is there a lot of selling pressure on the bid? Are there no buyers taking out any of the S? And then kind of make a decision, because if you see increasing volume, tons of volume come in, and it's breaking on the 5 minute, on the 10 minute, and there's just tons of volume coming in. All right, well, that might be a time where you're going to say, okay, even though I would wait for a 15-minute candle close, I'm seeing all this selling, all this aggressive, volume. It's probably better just to get out, better safe than sorry, than wait for that. So, it's tough. You kind of have to be a little, like you said, it could be a little hairy. You have to be nimble, and try to,
Gotta be nimble.
yeah,
Gotta be
gotta try
quick.
to put together as many pieces of the puzzle as possible.
And you know what that's called? My favorite word.
What?
Confluence.
Oh.
Right? Right?
I
You
didn't
know
know if
that's
that
my
was
favorite word.
Well, I do know.
You don't like to drop it. Betty wants to know if you only take your entries on the 15er.
Um, yes, I would say, yeah. Normally, I mean, in the morning, I can get away with a 10, but for me, I prefer a little bit of the longer time frames, just because, it's like it's like it's more qualified. The candles are kind of more qualified. It's as if you were doing like a scientific study. A 5 minute candle is like a study with 100 participants, and a 15-minute candle is a study with 2,000 participants. If you're taking a survey, for example, so you have just more data and information to be able to establish a trend, identify how strong how strong things are, because you could be below the 15-minute, or you could be below the 5 minute EMA you could be below the 9 EMA on the 5 minute chart, but then you go and peek over to the 15 and you're well above, and then all of a sudden, oh, okay.
I didn't know you were a scientist.
No, that's Champagne's job.
All right, guys. Well, I need to wrap it up because my kids are coming home from the pool. I think this went great for our first time. I think that maybe on the next show, it'll be modeled more after I just ask you whatever question. This should be a mentor-mentee show. I think we got to bag the best trade versus best trade, and I just ask
No,
you all the things I
we're
want
gonna
to
do
know.
the trades. We're gonna set up every, you were on vacation.
I was
You
on the
know, you
vacation.
got back.
Yes,
We're
yes.
gonna get the sounds going, the applause, the drums. We'll get everything
I'm
we'll,
excited for the future of the show. So you guys watching, we're gonna do a show. We're gonna try to do every Tuesday and every Thursday to go over our trades from that day. I got to get a little more consistent here on the trades, but we're gonna do this for a month and work on some just being accountable to you guys, and I get to ask my mentor here a lot of questions, which you have to pay him for a one-on-one. So
oh
I'm
God.
getting, I know, I'm getting extra, extra learning. Thanks for joining us, and come back. And if you
Yeah.
guys have any questions you want Shark to answer or me, uh, hit us up in the DMs. Also,
Yeah.
if you want to try TrendSpider, which is awesome and has a lot of powerful tools and also like amazing scanners, and when you sign into the program, it like teaches you the program, which is very cool. Also, if you need a one-on-one with anyone from TrendSpider, they're happy to do that with you.
Yeah. Really is.
Which is all like very, very, very cool. Also, for you strat people, this is amazing. And I'm like into the strat now that I'm learning it. They have strat candles. Did you know that?
No, I haven't joined the cult yet, so.
Oh, you don't have to know how to use the strat. But if you go under candle styles, they have the like 2 up, 3 down, whatever. I'll have it all ready for you guys to show you next time. But people love the strat.
Right.
Strat's cool.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is cool. All right. Anyway, if you want to try it, please do use the link that I posted in the comments, and then use our code. Not because I'm trying to get money from you guys, but honestly, if you support our sponsors, then we get money to keep making awesome content for you guys, which we like doing. So try TrendSpider, use our code, join us on Thursday.
Yeah,
I hope
we'll be
Spy
back Thursday.
breaks really hard up or really hard down and make $1 billion.
And yeah, and then also too, next one, when if you guys have questions about stuff like, I think whoever asked the question will be happy to answer them, for you guys. Hopefully you can learn some tips and tricks, see a little bit of, both our mindsets and what we're thinking during the trades.
Yeah, I think we trade like similarly. I mean, you like taught me so much about how to trade, but a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna find their own little niches and own little styles, and be able to put, a little bit of like what you like from here, a little bit what you like from here, and then kind of form your own thing. But all right.
All right.
Well, thanks everybody. There we go.